Okay, good morning dear students. Today we are going to discuss about our next chapter, AC, alternative current. Okay, in the previous class we learned about what is AC generator and all. So our next chapter is AC, alternative current. Why we are using AC more than that of DC? What is the reason? Any reason? Because only the one reason, AC can be easily converted to any other form. AC can be easily converted into any other forms. So we are using AC more than that of DC. Okay. So in this chapter we are going to discuss about the properties of AC voltage. So if we are applying AC voltage to any devices, what happens? That we are going to discuss. So the first topic, AC voltage applied to a resistor. AC voltage applied to a resistor. So we can consider an AC voltage that is applied to a resistor. This is the symbol of resistor. So this is the symbol of AC. So this AC is applied to a resistor. Resistor having the resistance capital R, and we know that V is equal to Vm sin omega t or V0 sin omega t. That is the value of the potential difference. Okay. So using this circuit we want to find out what is the current here. Okay, so for that we can consider Kirchhoff loop rule. We already learned Kirchhoff rules, so we need to consider the Kirchhoff loop rule here. So according to the Kirchhoff loop rule, algebraic sum of EMF is equal to 0. Algebraic sum of EMF is equal to 0. Okay, so for that, here we have the equation V equal to Vm sin omega t. Here we have the equation V equal to Vm sin omega t. And what is the current through this? So we know that here it is, if I is the current, so it is equal to, we consider I as small letter I, so I is equal, IR is equal to, we can consider that IR is equal to Vm sin omega t. This is from Kirchhoff rule. Okay. So IR equal to Vm sin omega t. We want to get the value of I. So I is equal to, what is I? I equal to Vm sin omega t by R. We can consider Vm by R as Im. So we will get I is equal to Im sin omega t. So we got two equations, V equal to Vm sin omega t and I is equal to Im sin omega t. These are the equations for potential difference and current. Okay, from this equation we know that it is sin omega t. So we already learned that the AC current is varying sinusoidally. That is, the voltage is varying sinusoidally. Also this current is also sinusoidally varying in the case of a pure resistive circuit. So we can say that there is no phase difference between these two. Okay, so there is no phase difference between current and voltage. Okay, clear? Okay, we know that here Vm and Im are the amplitudes of potential and current. Okay, here we can represent the graphical variation of this current and potential. So how it is? We can consider an x and y axis, and if here we consider omega t, and here we can consider current and potential. current and potential. So it varies sinusoidally. So just like a sine wave, it varies sinusoidally just like a sine wave. If it is current or potential, whatever we can consider, so I consider it as potential. So this is Vm, the maximum displacement, so it is considered as Vm. And like the way we can consider the current also. So current we can represent like this. So this point represents Im. So this is the graphical variation of current and voltage for a pure resistive circuit. Clear? And one more thing is here, we can consider the phasor diagram. What do you mean by phases? Phasors are nothing but that are called the rotating vectors. Phases are the rotating vectors which rotate about a fixed point. Phases are the rotating vectors which rotates over a fixed point. Okay, so that we can consider. Now we consider two axes. Here we can consider this is the current or potential. This is for V and I. Here we are considering the phasors as capital V and capital I. We are considering that phasors are capital V and capital I. So this is the phasor diagram for pure resistive circuit. Okay, so this point represents I equal to Im sine omega t, and like the way this point represents V equal to Vm sine omega t. So this is the phasor diagram for pure resistive circuit. What is this? This is the phase angle, that is omega t1. We can consider it as omega t1. Okay, so this is the phasor diagram for a pure resistive circuit. Means here this line represents both the current and the potential, or we can represent this like this. This is also the phasor diagram for pure resistive circuit, because this is a rotating vector. This V and I can be rotate over this. So this way also we can represent the phasor diagram for a pure resistive circuit. Okay, clear? Okay. Consider here, in this graph, we know that for a complete cycle, the EMF is 0. Okay, so for calculation purpose, we can't use this AC. So EMF we can't use for the calculation purpose, because for a complete cycle the value is 0. So for calculating AC, we are using the RMS value, root mean square value. What do you mean by root mean square value? RMS value. That is, it means the square root of mean of squares of instantaneous value of current or voltage. That is, we can consider that if Vrms is the RMS value for potential, then it is equal to root of mean square of V. If we consider V, that is mean square values of instantaneous values, V യുടെ mean inde square. If we consider V is the potential, a potential inde mean square aanu ivide nammal consider cheyyunnathu. Okay, so then we can consider this as root of half Vm square. We can consider this as root of half Vm square, or this is equal to Vm by root 2. This Vm by root 2 is called VRMS. This Vm by root 2 is called VRMS, or that is equal to 0.707 Vm. That's equal to 0.707 Vm. Like the way we can consider for current also. So for the current IRMS. So IRMS is equal to root of I bar square. So that's equal to root of half Im square. Root of half Im square. So which is equal to Im by root 2. Im by root 2. So that's equal to 0.707 Im. Okay. So this equation represents IRMS and this represents VRMS. So the RMS value of potential is Vm by root 2 and that of current is Im by root 2, or calculating 1 by root 2 we will get it is 0.707 Vm and 0.707 Im. So this is the RMS value. Clear? Okay. Our next topic, power dissipated in a resistor. Power dissipated in a resistor. We know that the instantaneous power for a resistive circuit is P equal to I square R, isn't it? So we have some equations related to I, R and V. So for the power for a resistive circuit, we can consider that P is equal to I square R. So from this, we can substitute the value of I. I is equal to Im sin omega t. So P is equal to Im square sin square omega t into R. So that is equal to Im square R sin square omega t. Okay, this is the equation for the instantaneous power. But we want to get the average power consumed. We want to get the average power consumed. So for that, we want to consider the average of this power. So we are representing the average as P bar, or like this. In this bracket we consider P, then it represents the average value of power. So that's equal to average of Im square R sin square omega t. So we want to find the average of this value. So how we are going to find this average value? So for that we have an equation. That is, we have a general equation. If we want to find out the average of f of t, if we want to find out the average of f of t, then that's equal to integral 0 to t 1 by t into integral 0 to t f of t dt. We can use this equation. For finding the average, we can use this equation. That is integral 1 by t into integral 0 to t f of t dt. That is the general equation for finding the average. Okay, then here we want to get the average of this, that is P bar. So we can consider P bar is equal to average of Im square R sin square omega t. Here Im square and R are constants, that is not varying. So we can take it to be outside, that is Im square R into the average of sin square omega t. Now we want to find the average of sine square omega t. How we will get the value? So for that we want to change this equation. That is, we don't know the integral of this sine square. So for getting the value of sine square, we want to change this equation. So we can consider this equation as equation number 1. So we can consider average of sine square omega t. So that's equal to, we can write it as average of 1 by 2 into 1 minus cos 2 omega t. Cos 2 omega t. Okay. So again we can write it as 1 by 2 is constant. So that is 1 by 2 into 1 minus, only we want to consider the average of cos 2 omega t. So we want to consider only the average of cos 2 omega t. So the average of cos 2 omega t. So this we can consider the equation 2. Okay. So average of cos 2 omega t is equal to 1 by t into integral 0 to t cos 2 omega t dt. What is the integral of cos? What is the integral of cos? It is sine. Integral of cos is sine. So we can write it as 1 by t into sine 2 omega t by 2 omega. Sine 2 omega t by 2 omega. If it is cos 2 theta, then it is cos 2 theta. The integral is sine 2 theta by 2. Okay. So here it is sine 2 omega t by 2 omega. That is integral from 0 to t. So if we are applying the value 0 to t, what we will get? We can consider that is equal to 1 by 2 omega t into sine 2 omega t minus sine 0. We know that sine 0 is equal to 0. What is sine 2 omega t? So 1 by 2 omega t into, we know that omega is equal to 2 pi by t. So here it is sine 2 into 2 pi t by t. So t becomes cancelled, minus sine 0. So it is equal to sine 4 pi. What is sine 4 pi? Sine n pi is equal to 0. So here it is 1 by 2 omega t into t is, here it is, the t is capital T. You can consider that t is capital T, not the small letter t. These all are capital T's. Capital T sine 2 into 2 pi, that is equal to 4 pi. So that is equal to 0 minus 0. So this is equal to 0. So the average of cos 2 omega t equal to 0. Average of cos 2 omega t equal to 0. So we wrote an equation here, that is average of sine square is equal to half into 1 minus cos 2 omega t. So what is the value of sine square omega t? So the value of sine square omega t is equal to 1 by 2. Value of sine square omega t is equal to 1 by 2. And what is the value of average of p? Here we have an equation. The average of p is equal to Im square r into sine square omega t. So the average of p is 1 by 2 into Im square r. 1 by 2 into Im square r. Okay, so now we got an equation. So again, we want to change this equation in terms of RMS value. How it is possible? We know that I equal to V by R. I equal to V by R. Okay, so Im is equal to Vm by R. So R equal to, what is R? R equal to Vm by Im. So from this equation we can write average of P is equal to half into Im square into Vm by Im. So that's equal to half into Im Vm. Half into Im Vm. Again we can change this equation, that is average of P is equal to Im by root 2 into Vm by root 2. Correct? So that's equal to IRMS into VRMS. So the average power P equal to IRMS into VRMS. Actually, these RMS values are the DC components of an AC. So we can say that we can treat AC as DC. Okay, that means എങ്ങനെയാണോ നമ്മൾ ഡി സിയെ ട്രീറ്റ് ചെയ്യുന്നത് അതുപോലെ തന്നെ നമുക്ക് എന്തിനേയും ട്രീറ്റ് ചെയ്യാം, എ സിയെയും ട്രീറ്റ് ചെയ്യാം. This is the DC equivalence of a AC. So we know that the equation for a DC power, it is IR. So this is also IR, IRMS into VRMS. So we can treat AC as same as that of DC. Okay, I hope that this topic is very clear. So let us have a look. What are the topics? So our topic is AC voltage applied to a resistor. AC voltage applied to a resistor. For that we learn the equations, that is AC voltage applied to a resistor. So here we consider a circuit having a resistor and a AC current. Then we have an equation V equal to Vm sin omega t, and we derived the equation for what, I, by using this Kirchhoff rule. So we got I is equal to Im sin omega t. So here Vm and Im are the maximum amplitudes of potential and current. Okay, and then this is the graphical variation of this current and potential. And now we represents the phasor diagram. Now we represents the phasor diagram. That is, this is the phasor diagram. Phasors means that are the rotating vectors that rotate about a fixed axis with an angular frequency omega. That is called phasors. Okay, so phasors are the rotating vectors which rotates with a fixed axis with an angular frequency omega. Then this is the phasor diagram. Then we learned this RMS value. So RMS value is nothing but the root mean square values. That is, it is the square root of mean of squares of instantaneous value of current or voltage. That is called RMS values. So we got VRMS is equal to Vm by root 2 and IRMS is equal to Im by root 2. Okay, clear. Then power dissipated in a resistor. For that, first we consider the equation for the instantaneous power. Then we considered the equation for the average power. So here average power is equal to, this symbol indicates that is the average power. We want to calculate the average of this value inside that bracket. So for that we use a formula, that is average of f of t is equal to 1 by t into integral 0 to t f of t dt. By solving Thus we got the average value of power P is equal to half Im square R, and now that we changed into our RMS value. So the average power is equal to IRMS into VRMS. So we can say that we can treat our AC as like our DC. Okay, clear? This is about the AC voltage applied to a resistor. This derivation is very important, so study well. Okay, clear? Okay, our next topic, AC voltage applied to an inductor. Now you have an idea about inductor, inductance and all. So we can consider an inductor. We are considering an inductor having the inductance L. And an AC voltage is applied to this inductor. That is, we applied that V equal to Vm sin omega t. Okay, we applied that V equal to Vm sin omega t. And we want to get the value of current from this equation. We want to get the value of current. So for that, we can do that. The same thing, that is, we can consider Kirchhoff loop rule. According to the Kirchhoff loop rule, here sum of EMF is equal to 0. Sum of EMF is equal to 0. Here no resistance. So we can consider that V minus L di by dt is equal to 0. V minus L di by dt is equal to 0. This minus L di by dt is the potential of this inductor. Okay, this is the EMF for this inductor. So we can write this equation is equal to V equal to L di by dt. We want to get the value of current I. So we can write di by dt is equal to V by L. That's equal to Vm sin omega t by L. Vm sin omega t by L. Okay, clear? So we want to get the value of current. So we have the equation is di by dt. So we want to get I. So first we want to change this equation. That is di is equal to Vm by L into sin omega t dt. So for getting I, we want to integrate this equation. So I is equal to integral Vm by L sin omega t dt. Okay, so that's equal to Vm by L into integral sin omega t dt. Okay, what is the integral of sine? Integral of sine? Integral of sine is, what is the integral of sine? It is minus cos. So we can write it as minus Vm by L cos omega t by omega is there. By omega is there. So that's equal to minus Vm by L omega into cos omega t. Okay. We can consider that this Vm by L omega as Im. Im equal to Vm by L omega. Im is equal to Vm by L omega. So we can substitute that I is equal to minus Im cos omega t. We can see that there is the phase difference in between this equation. That is, we have I is equal to minus Im cos omega t, and we have V equal to Vm sin omega t. One is the function of cos and one is the function of sine. So we can represent this as I equal to Im sin omega t minus pi by 2. Minus pi by 2. So minus cos omega t is equal to sin omega t minus pi by 2. So we can see that there is a phase difference of minus pi by 2. Okay, clear. So we have two equations, that is V equal to Vm sine omega t and I equal to Im sine omega t minus pi by 2. So there is a phase difference of minus pi by 2 is there. Okay, clear. So one more thing. Here we wrote I is equal to, or Im is equal to Vm by L omega. Now we can represent this L omega is equal to XL, where XL is called inductive reactance. XL is called the inductive reactance. Okay, this is equivalent to the resistance in a resistive circuit. So this is the inductive reactance. So we can write that equation Im is equal to Vm by XL. Okay, clear? So this is the equation for current and voltage in a inductive circuit. Okay, clear? So we already told that there is a phase difference of pi by 2 between current and voltage. Therefore, we can draw the graphical variation of this current and voltage. Here consider omega t, and first we can consider the graphical variation of potential. So here it is Vm. Okay, then there is a phase difference of pi by 2 between the current. That is, the current is starting from this point. Okay, so this is the point where the current starts. That is the phase difference of pi by 2. That is, if here it is, we can consider it as 0. So here the maximum current, that is Im. Okay, and in the case of the potential, if the potential is maximum, at that case current is minimum. That is the phase difference. Okay, then we can consider the phasor diagram. We can consider the phasor diagram. So for the phasor diagram, first we can consider the axis, and then if this represents the phasor for potential, then the phasor for current is this. Okay, that is I. That means there is a phase difference of pi by 2 here. Okay, clear? So this is the phasor diagram for a inductive circuit. So here this is the equation that represents V equal to Vm sine omega t. That is the point where represents the Vm sine omega t, and this point represents I equal to Im cos omega t. If here it is omega t1, then it's also equal to t1. So this is the phasor, or we can draw the phasor diagram like this also. This is V and this is I, because these are the rotating vectors. Phases are the rotating vectors. Clear? So we can move to the next topic, that is power consumed by a inductive circuit. Power consumed by an inductive circuit. For that we can consider the power for a inductor. We know that the instantaneous power, the equation for the instantaneous power, if we know current and voltage, then the equation for the instantaneous power is P equal to VI. P equal to Vi. So we can write it as Vm sin omega t and Im cos omega t. So Vm into Im sin omega t into cos omega t. That is the equation for power. What is sin omega t into cos omega t? That is sin 2 omega t by omega. That is sin 2 omega t by, sorry, not omega, sin 2 omega t by 2. Okay, so the equation for sin omega t into cos omega t is sin 2 omega t by 2. So the equation for the power is P equal to Vm Im by 2 into sin 2 omega t. Okay, this is the equation for the instantaneous power. Now we want to get the average power consumed. So the equation is average power, or we can represent it as P bar, is equal to average of Vm Im by 2 into sin 2 omega t. Okay, so which is equal to Vm Im by 2 into average of sin 2 omega t. So we want to find the average of sin 2 omega t. And in the case of a resistive circuit, we find the value of cos 2 omega t. So now we want to find the value of sin 2 omega t. So here average of sin 2 omega t is equal to, we can apply that equation, that is average of f of t is equal to 1 by t into integral 0 to t f of t dt. That we can use. That is 1 by t into integral 0 to t sin 2 omega t dt. What is the integral of sine? It is minus cos. So here it is 1 by t into minus cos 2 omega t by 2 omega. Minus cos 2 omega t by 2 omega. That is 1 by 2 omega t into, here we can write it is 0 to t, 1 by t minus cos 2 omega t 0 to t. Also we can take minus also taken to be outside. So minus 1 by 2 omega t into cos 2 omega capital T minus cos 0. Okay. So that is equal to minus 1 by 2 omega t into cos 2 omega into, or we can write omega is equal to 2 pi by t, or t equal to 2 pi by omega. Both we can use. Before we used omega is equal to 2 pi by t. So here it is, t is equal to 2 pi by omega. T equal to 2 pi by omega. So omega becomes cancelled into minus cos 0. Okay. That is minus 1 by 2 omega t minus 1 by 2 omega t into cos 2 pi minus cos 0. Not 2 pi, there is a 2 is also there. So 2 into 2 pi. So it is 4 pi. So we can write cos 4 pi minus cos 0. What is cos n pi? That is minus 1 all raised to n. So it is minus 1 by 2 omega t into minus 1 all raised to 4. It is 1 itself. So 1 minus cos 0, 1. So 1 minus 1, it is equal to 0. That is, the average of sine 2 omega t is also equal to 0. So the average power P is equal to 0. Or we can represent the average power for an inductive circuit as PL. So the total power consumed for an inductor is 0. Okay, clear? Okay. We got that the total power consumed for an inductor is equal to 0. What it means? In the case of an inductor, we can consider a current cycle, complete current cycle. If this represents a complete current cycle, that is, the current increases up to this point, we can consider it as the first quarter cycle and it is the next one. Likewise, we can consider. Okay, so we can divide it as 4 quarter cycles. So at the first quarter cycle, what happens? This current increases. Because of this increase in current, there is a flux developed through that inductor. So there is a magnetic field, so there is a flux developed. Due to this, that energy is stored in that inductor. Again, in the second quarter cycle, what happens? This current decreases. So magnetic field decreases, means magnetic flux decreases. That's why that stored energy is returned to the source itself. So if we are considering the average, the total energy is 0. Total energy consumed is equal to 0. Okay, clear? So in the case of an inductor, we consider first an inductor we consider, and a voltage, AC voltage is applied to that inductor. Again, we derived the expression for the current. That is, we got I is equal to Im sine omega t minus pi by 2. So there is a phase difference of pi by 2. Then we can draw the graphical variation of this. So there we can show a phase difference, and the phasor diagram will be like this. There is a phase difference of pi by 2. And then we consider the power consumed. For that, we consider the average power consumed. We can represent this power as PL because it represents the inductor, power for an inductor, or P also, no problem. Okay, so finally we got the average power consumed for an inductor is equal to 0. That means in each quarter cycle, the energy stored in an inductor, and the next quarter cycle it returned to the source itself. Okay, that will repeat. So average power consumed for an inductor is equal to 0. Clear? Okay, our next topic, AC voltage applied to a capacitor. Now we already discussed about AC voltage applied to an inductor and an AC voltage applied to a resistor. And the next one, AC voltage applied to a capacitor. Okay, we can consider a capacitor of capacitance C, and that is connected to an AC circuit. That is, here the equation for AC is V equal to Vm sine omega. Okay, then we want to get the equation for current. So we want to find what is I. Here also we can apply the Kirchhoff rule. So sum of EMF is equal to 0. Therefore, we can write V is equal to, for a capacitor, V equal to Q by C. For a capacitor, V equal to Q by C. So it is Vm sin omega t is equal to Q by C. C is the capacitance and Q is the charge. Okay. Then from this equation, Q equal to C into Vm sin omega t. Q equal to C into Vm sin omega t. We want to find the value of I. So we know that I is equal to dq by dt. Clear? That is I equal to d by dt of CVm sin omega t. C and Vm are constant. What is the differential of sin omega t? Differential of sin omega t is cos omega t. Differential of sin omega t is cos omega t. Okay, it is cos omega t. But here there is an omega t is there, so into omega. So that is equal to C omega into Vm cos omega t. Here V equal to Vm sin omega and I is equal to C omega into Vm cos omega t. So here also there is a phase difference. So we can write it as I equal to Im cos omega t. Here Im is equal to C omega into Vm. Or we can write it as Vm by 1 by C omega. Thus 1 by C omega is equivalent to the resistance in a resistive circuit, and it is called capacitive reactance. It is called capacitive reactance and it is denoted as Xc. So Xc equal to 1 by C omega. Therefore, Im is equal to Vm by Xc. Okay. Then we got I is equal to Im cos omega t. We want to represent this in terms of sine itself. So we can write it as I is equal to Im sine omega t plus pi by 2. That's equal to Im sine omega t plus pi by 2. Okay. So we have V equal to I is equal to Im sin omega t plus pi by 2 and V equal to Vm sin omega t. So there is a phase difference of plus pi by 2. In the case of an inductor, there is a phase difference of minus pi by 2, and here there is a phase difference of plus pi by 2. Okay, clear? Now the graphical variation of this current and the potential. We can consider omega t here. Okay, and the potential. I draw the potential as like this. And EMF. And the current is like this. Okay, so here there is a phase difference of plus pi by 2 between current and the EMF or the potential. So this is Im and this point represents V. Okay, clear. So this is the graphical variation of a capacitive circuit for the current and the voltage. Okay, and next we can discuss for the phasor diagram. For the phasor diagram, we can consider the axes, and if I represent potential, the phasor for the potential V like this, then for the current I can represent E. Okay, so this represents I equal to Im cos omega t, and here it represents V equal to Vm sin omega. Okay, or we can draw like this. This I and this is V. So this is also the phasor diagram. So phasors are the rotating vector. The phasor for the current is capital I and that of the potential is capital V. Clear? Okay, our next topic, power consumed for a capacitive circuit. Okay, so for that, first we can consider the instantaneous power. If we know V and I, the instantaneous power P is equal to VI. Here we can represent it as PC also. So P equal to VI. So that is equal to V is equal to Vm sin omega t. Isn't it? Then I equal to Im cos omega t. Okay, so that's equal to Vm into Im sin omega t cos omega t. So that is equal to Vm Im sin cos, that is sin 2 omega t by 2. Okay, so that's equal to Vm Im by 2 into sin 2 omega t. Here we want to get the total power consumed. It's the average power, that is average of PC is equal to Vm Im by 2 into average of sin 2 omega t. The average of sin 2 omega t is 0. So the total power consumed here also 0. Okay, so we got average power consumed is equal to 0 because average of sin of 2 omega t equal to 0. This means that the same way we can explain the case, means if PC is equal to 0, average of power consumed for a capacitor is equal to 0. In each quarter cycle, the energy is stored in the capacitor in the form of the charges, that is charge is stored. And the next quarter cycle, that capacitor discharges and that stored energy is given into the source. So the first quarter cycle, that energy is stored as charge. Means if the current increases, the capacitor charges, and again the next quarter cycle the current decreases, then the capacitor discharges. Okay, that energy is given to the source itself. So for a complete cycle, the total power consumed is equal to 0. Clear? Okay, then let us have a look. So we discussed about the capacitive circuit. So for a capacitive circuit, we consider a capacitor and a EMF is applied, means an AC current is applied. So we got the equation for the current as I is equal to Im sin omega t. Okay, and then next we discuss the phasor diagram and the graphical variation. So there is a phase difference, so we got this graph and this is the phasor diagram. And after that we discussed about the power consumed. For the power consumed is also equal to 0. And there is a small mistake in the previous session that I forgot to put a minus sign. Okay, in this I forgot to put a minus sign. That is, the first equation itself we need a minus sign because here this Im sin omega t is minus. So here there is a minus system. Here there is a minus. So here also a minus is there. Okay. So I forgot to put that minus in this previous equation, that is for the case of inductor. Okay. Just rewrite that. Okay. Clear.